Right. Hey, everyone. This is Michael Workman, and welcome to a special Thanksgiving edition of Resin Market Moves, powered by the ResinSmart team here at RTI. Today, we have a special treat for you. Joining us is a true industry icon, someone who has analyzed polypropylene markets for over 40 years, the one and only Lowell Huovinen. Lowell, thanks for joining us. I know you're one of the most humble guys that I've ever met, so I need to quickly walk through your background and why all of our listeners should be paying attention right now about what you're about to say about polypropylene. Over 40 years in the industry, 7 of which with Spectrum Polymers Chief Operating Officer or General Manager of Operations, as I should say. Poly America, you spent over 15 years there, Operations Manager. And not to mention the almost 30 years you've been with our team here, Lowell, helping polypropylene buyers, processors, advising on the polypropylene market. We're really thankful to have you this time of year, Lowell, and thank you for jumping on this holiday week.
Hi, good morning, Mike. Thanks a lot. The polypropylene market's in a real unique position right now. It's probably been the most stable I've ever seen it for the past 2 years. There's been several reasons for that. One of them, obviously, is the economy. But a few years ago, 10 to 15 years ago, we had introduction of PDH units, which manufacture on-purpose propylene for the polypropylene industry and the main feedstock for polypropylene. And then in the late 2019, 19, and 2021 timeframe, we implemented a lot of production capacity into the industry. And we have not caught up with, the demand has not caught up with the production production increases. But right now in the market today, we're running at about an 80% demand rate. And it's been that way for a couple of years, but there's a lot of capacity available, and it's been a buyer's market, so to speak, because of the overabundance of capacity. But the demand rate has been sticking in that 80% area up until this quarter. And we've seen processors start backing off on purchases for the end of the year. A lot of it is because companies are trying to build up their finances for the end of the year and make their numbers look good. So they're cutting back on the resin purchases, and resin sellers are telling us that they're having a hard time moving material because of the inventory cutback on processors, as well as the typical slowdown we do see in the fourth quarter after about the middle of November. Resin inventories at the producer level were about 40 to 41 days a couple of months ago. They're down to about 35. Resin producers have also cut their reduced their run rates from in the mid 80s, 83, 84%, all the way down to 75 this month. I believe that we probably will see them go down to 72 to 70% by the end of the quarter. And the demand rate will probably drop down into about 75% for polypropylene. And I expect the inventories will probably stay the same at the producer run rate or producer level, probably somewhere in that 35-day range. I would think they'll probably keep it in there. Could go down a little bit more, but that just tells you how weak the industry is right now. We don't see a rebound coming this quarter. I think a lot of people are going to sit back and wait into the December timeframe to see what kind of orders they have for the first quarter. But what this is doing is setting up a perfect storm for the first quarter for the producers, because they're going to go into the first of the year with low run rates, low inventory, and resin processors are going to be buying resin to replenish their inventory. So at this point in time, we really recommend that people go out and buy a few cars just to get an advantage over the pricing increases that we expect in the first quarter. And there also are situations where some of the resin producers or sellers are giving terms. So we would recommend buying some cars this quarter at this low price. If you can get terms, that's wonderful. It'll help you in the payment portion of the business, but it also sets you up so that if we see price increases as we expect in the first quarter, you'll at least help to buffer some of that expense that you would normally have if you had to buy the resin in the first quarter.
That's an excellent breakdown, Lowell. The processors should be taking advantage of PGP being in the mid 20s and, multi-year lows. I do want to, because a lot of our listeners, their ears perked up when you said perfect storm in quarter one. I want to shift into that first quarter. What is the data telling you? What do buyers need to do to prepare for those price increases that you mentioned, Lowell, are coming?
Sure, and there's many drivers out there that we watch on a regular basis to help us project what pricing is, what the industry is going to do as far as pricing and where we can expect to see pricing go. But most of our drivers right now are saying that we're going to see price increase in the first quarter, and we may be a little bit overzealous, but I think it's potentially possible we could see 10% at least, and maybe 15 or 20% increase in pricing. First quarter, traditionally, we've always seen volatility in the polypropylene market because of monomer shortages, and we kind of think that's going to happen this quarter as well, because we always see refineries turning around in the mid-January to late February, early March timeframe, doing their turnarounds from winter blend fuel to summer blend fuel. So that's a given every year. But this year, we mentioned the PDH units earlier. One PDH unit for sure will be going down and for a turnaround, and this is usually about a 45 to 60-day event. And we've also heard that there's another PDH unit that is very likely going to go down for a turnaround. We're going to lose 25 to 50% of the capacity that comes from PDHs in this time frame. In addition to that, the largest cracker in North America will be going down for about the same time as the refineries doing a turnaround. So we lose that potential capacity as well. And then on top of that, who knows if we're going to have a weather event. The last 3 or 4 years, we've had weather events that some real crippling and some minimal, but all we need is just a couple day freeze in Houston, and that's going to impact monomer as well. So monomer definitely will see some increases in the first quarter, which relates directly into polypropylene pricing. And then, as we mentioned, talking about Q4, resins buyers are going into the year with low inventories. Resin producers have low inventories, are running at, let's say, 70% capacity. And all of a sudden, processors start replenishing their inventories for 2026 first quarter. And the producers start running low on resin right away because of the low inventory. They jump their run rates up into the 82 to 85% range to replenish their inventory. By the middle to late part of January, they're saying, holy smokes, business is booming. Demand has picked up, even though to us it's just an inventory switch. They truly are running harder. Monomer has gone up in pricing, and it's going to be a perfect situation for them to implement price increases. And like I said, 3 to 5 cents isn't out of the question at all. And I even say if we have something impact us like a storm or something of that sort, or an unplanned outage, it'll even be more significant as far as price increases. And that will play into the first quarter, and then going further into the year, it's going to just prolong the price effectiveness or price increases. And I don't see the price increases coming out. So that further backs us up as far as saying probably buy some cars in Q1 or in fourth quarter for Q1, because it's going to help you as far as mitigating some of these price increases that we'll see in Q1.
Thank you for that, Lowell. It sounds like we're at the bottom of this polypropylene cycle. And as you're mentioning, we expect to see some increases in quarter one. And I just heard you mention that we don't expect those prices to come back down. If we think about 2026, just as a whole, as I know many plastic processors and their leadership teams are, what are some of the things that are going into, your view on the prices staying elevated once they get to those Q1 increased levels?
Yeah, as far as the rest of the year and the whole year 2026, I think we're probably a little bit different than some of the indices that are reporting a flat year. I think we can expect to see these price increases that happen in Q1. I think it's very possible that we could see further increases during the course of the year. I would not be surprised to see us 10 cents higher than where we are with current pricing by the end of the year. There's several things that are going to impact it. One is the government's trying to cut back on interest rates. If they drop interest rates a couple percent, That's going to definitely help with the housing market. The housing starts will come up. The motive will jump up some because of the interest rates. Both of those industries consume a lot of plastic, polypropylene and other resins, but automotive especially, a lot of plastic. That's two impacts that we could see out there. I believe that also we'll see some of the demand rates increase just because of government stability. Tariffs probably will be situated so that people know what the tariffs are going to be. And once we see more stableness, I think that the whole industry will grow. Like I said, I fully expect pricing to be at least 10 cents higher than where it is right now. And I don't see it falling back. A lot of people see it falling back, but I think once we see a shift in momentum, and history tells us when prices are this low, they always rebound, and usually it's a significant rebound. So I just stand on our forecast that I believe that we'll be up higher in the first quarter and the prices will not fall off in the course of the year.
Thank you for that, Lowell. What I'm hearing loud and clear is that if you're a processor and negotiating 2026 contracts, now through February is your moment to be locking in the lowest baseline that you can, and prices aren't going to stay this low. Lowell, this is incredibly helpful. For anyone watching this, it's your Thanksgiving edition reminder that the polypropylene market is something we should be thankful for, but just right now, right? With the low pricing, weak fundamentals, and leverage, but that's not going to last. And so prepare yourself. And if you want full visibility into the polypropylene benchmarks here in North America, if you want to be able to answer your question, the question of your leadership, how do I know that I buy resin well? We can help you answer that with our team, Lowell, and our team of experts here at ResinSmart by RTI. We can help put you in the best situation possible to weather the storm that's coming in 2026. As we close, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Lowell, I'm going to sneak in one last question. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Dressing, of course.
Dressing, of course. That's high on my list, but I'm more of a stuffing guy. As evidence probably shows, I need to cut back a little bit this year, but it's so tasty. Whatever your favorite side is, enjoy it. Have a great Thanksgiving with your family and friends. This has been a special edition of Resin Market Moves focused on polypropylene with our industry legend, Lowell Huovinen. We will see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.